You're watching Texoma's Fox Morning Edition in high definition.
Good morning, Texoma. I'm Jessica Bruno in for John Hansen. Students at the Bowie campus of North Central Texas College now have a venue for summer classes after the campus was flooded earlier this month. Bowie campus coordinator Karen Smith says the campus is now open and offering administrative services to students. She says summer classes will be held at Bowie High School, and a list of specific room assignments will be posted on the first day of class. Classes will begin for the summer term on June 8th, with late registration the week of June 1st through the 6th. Well, with more strong rain chances today and into tomorrow morning, waiting and watching. That's what County and Wichita Falls emergency management folks are doing again. The National Weather Service briefed the teams yesterday about what may come in the days ahead as far as expected rainfall. Wichita Falls Fire Chief John Reese says they were given projections on how much more runoff could go into the Wichita River depending on how much rain falls. Chief Reese says the Emergency Operations Center is still being manned by a skeleton crew, but if emergency conditions do develop again, Reese says they have plenty of time to get advisories out.
We don't anticipate it to flood again past what it was this last week, unless we receive heavy rainfall, which right now we're monitoring to see how much rainfall we received in the Beaver Creek and the Wichita River watershed.
We've already received 2 inches of rain in the area, so projections given earlier show the river could hit 22 feet, 4 feet above flood stage. Well, much of Texoma is no longer in a drought, according to the U.S. Drought Monitor. Last week, the Drought Monitor moved Wichita County from Stage 5 exceptional drought to Stage 2 moderate drought. This week, we've moved from Stage 2 moderate drought to no drought at all. However, western Texoma and Hardeman, Knox, Cottle, and King counties remain in the Stage 2 moderate drought. The United States Drought Monitor has had Wichita Falls in a drought category every year since 2010. Meanwhile, Wichita County has amended its original request to the governor to declare a state of emergency to push the date back of the disaster back about 2 weeks. If approved, this means the county and residents would be eligible for assistance for damages and repairs that occur before May 20th. Governor Greg Abbott, who toured flooded areas here on Monday, declared a state of disaster for Wichita and Archer counties. In his letter to the governor, County Judge Woody Gossam said the potential impact of the threat is tremendous economic loss. Under a state of emergency, the governor is empowered to issue directives to protect life and property, control public transportation and use of buildings, and issue curfew orders and fines for violation of those orders. Judge Gossam ended the formal letter by asking a timely response to the request. Well, 13th District Congressman Mac Thornberry says he's taken a look at some of the flood damage in the area in the past few days. He says dozens of residents are dealing with heartbreaking situations, and the wheels are in motion to get those residents the help and assistance they deserve.
Several of the counties here have been declared disaster area. That's a start for state and federal resources that may come. And, you know, all of us are concerned about the victims who have been damaged, but all of us are also grateful for the rainfall.
And also, President Obama went to Florida yesterday to focus on the upcoming Atlantic hurricane season, but he says after the devastating flooding in Texas and Oklahoma, there's more to be done to ensure Americans are safe. At least 21 people have died in the U.S. over the past 5 days from either tornadoes or flooding brought on by epic rainfall, and 9 people remain missing in Texas. Well, residents out at Lake Kickapoo say they're enjoying a sight they say they haven't seen in years. The lake is over 100% full with water going over the spillway. And I actually spoke with a family I talked with last year around this same time, and they say they could not be more thrilled.
7 to 8 inches of rainfall would provide enough water for us for a year off this size house.
It was this time last year when Lake Kickapoo residents Herb and Sally Bernhardt installed this 3,000-gallon tank to collect rainwater to water their plants and trees. And now, just a year later, it's not even needed.
And then all of a sudden, just almost overnight, it filled up.
The Bernhardts say the water came up 125 feet closer to their house after only 1 week of rainfall.
It's wonderful.
Wonderful. It really takes the pressure off. In here, I just put up that 3,000-gallon tank. It's not ever been this full. It came right to the spillway in 2008, but it didn't. It's just lapping over. It didn't really spill over.
They didn't expect this much rain for a very long time, so they even built a garden here, which is now completely underwater.
We had a row of okra, 2 rows of beans and 3 or 4 rows of corn.
But they say losing the garden is a small price to pay for such a beautiful sight to see.
It's wonderful. It's hard to believe that the lake was that big because there was so much land showing.
The lake is 10 miles long. It's mind-boggling that all this came one drop at a time.
The Bernhardts say the one thing they're looking forward to the most, more than anything, with having that full lake is just sitting back and looking out at the beautiful scenery. And down at Possum Kingdom, they've opened 2 floodgates to try and release some of the water into the Brazos River. The gates are letting out almost 18,000 cubic feet of water per second, and the lake has gone down from 97.1% full yesterday to 95.2% today. A year ago, it was only 60.9% full. That water is going downstream to Lake Granbury, which is 95% full, releasing about 35,000 cubic feet of water per second through 17 floodgates. A big bump in our area lake levels is one reason behind the change in our drought conditions. For example, Lake Arrowhead is officially 100% full for the first time since 2007. It is now rolling over the spillway. It took several days to fill that last foot or so of the lake after the heavy rains, and the Little Wichita River was still above 22 feet and has been flowing just above 1,000 cubic feet per second for the past week. To show you the contrast, only 6 months ago, Arrowhead was down to 19.7% of its capacity again. This is the first time the lake has been flowing over the spillway since 2007. And good news for Southwest Wichita Falls from TxDOT. The Texas Transportation Commission has approved funds from Proposition 1 to enclose all the drainage canal from McNeil to Hughes. The bad news will be the traffic congestion along the stretch of Southwest Parkway that will be extended after the McNeil flood project is finished. Part of the open ditch near McNeil is already enclosed as part of the project. The $1.8 million contract was awarded to North Texas Contracting. The project will be funded by the Proposition 1 approved by voters in November, which dedicates a portion of oil and gas tax revenue to the highway fund. Well, the second phase of the Eagle Rail Car expansion project is officially launched after a ribbon cutting ceremony yesterday. The $1 million in incentives for the Eagle Rail Car expansion project will come from the Economic Development Corporation Board. The company is receiving $350,000 to create 64 positions, around $77,000 for skills development training, and a forgivable loan of $500,000 to purchase equipment. Officials with the company say this expansion will result in new investment, new tax revenue for the city of Wichita Falls, Wichita County, and WFISD, as well as 128 new primary jobs.
Those are the jobs that make our economy grow, because with those primary jobs, the secondary and tertiary jobs come with them, which is retail and those other things.
Eagle Rail Car currently has 73 employees and plans to grow to 200 employees within the next 3 years. Well, after the break, Brian will have a look at what rising Wichita River, and it's finally here. Wichita Falls' very own food truck park is up and running for business here. What all it has to offer and what else may be coming. And we told you about a huge IRS breach yesterday. The agency now thinks just may have caught the culprit. Come back.